Hey folks, Kozzi here, drafting for Pick 1 Pack 1 with a second video series with this particular Feln control deck. If you've just come into it, I really recommend you watch the first video. Game 2 was the first time I've ever gone up against a stranger themed deck in Limited. And I was taking a break to head into the city, and all I could think about was this particular meme from Will Ferrell and Anchorman. I'm not even mad, that's amazing. I think that just about sums it up. What we saw was phenomenal. So I really recommend you go and check it out. I even realized in watching it back that my opponent never even played a Primal Sigil. They were able to offload all of their blue cards because they dropped a Feln Stranger that they top decked. And they also top decked the Surprise Hunter that foiled my attack for lethal. But you know, that's the game. Sometimes you get lucky and sometimes your opponent does, and in this instance I was definitely the one who the house ate. So we now have, it seems to be a little bit of a theme at the moment, backs up against the wall. We need to come out swinging, hopefully go 3-0 so that way we can get to another video series and play tightly and stop making some of these silly mistakes that I've been making. This hand is not going to help us in any of those regards, so we'll throw it back. This hand is fine, but I'm quite nervous about the fact that I do not have much early game at all. So it's lucky that I'm on the play, but we could well and truly get run over here, and I am desperate to be drawing Primal Sigils, although that will then make me quite flooded. So it's an unusual spot here. I both want to be getting my colours, not drawing too much, and this is where it's going to hurt us because I'm unable to play this Gorgon Swiftblade right now because we're missing on our colours. If we do draw a Primal Sigil in the next turn or two, I don't think it's too late, but this is a Warcry deck, and if we don't play stuff soon, we're just going to get demolished. You've got something else. What else could you have? This is okay, it's someone to trade with. It's not phenomenal, but it's okay. We're definitely misrepresenting that we're a Stone Scar deck right now. If he attacks in, we're snapping off the block in a heartbeat. If he attacks in, we wish we could snap off a block in a heartbeat. But as it is, we're going to have a very evasive threat who's going to be a problem for us to deal with. We need to look to shadow-based removal, I guess, to help us out. We'll offer up the trade here and try and keep up our clock, because we're going to be playing a Steward of the Past. We're going to be able to block him relatively easily. But we have a much bigger problem here with this flying Oni Ronin. So far this is game number 4. 2 out of the 4 were heavily impacted by Power Screw. 1 was relatively affected by Power Flood, and this one looks as though we are being impacted by Color Screw. It's an unfortunate reality of Limited at times that you can have the best laid plans of mice and men, but all it takes is a feather to mess it up. Okay. So we still have things we can do. I can either give my Steward of the Past flying and hope that it shuts these guys off. If he has a combat trick or a piece of equipment, I'm in trouble. But I guess at least I get a singleton trade. We could cast the Frostkin right now to turn off one of these guys. I don't think that's the best play, especially as if we draw another Sigil we can do both these things. So instead I think we just attack in. He's going to be dying soon anyway when we cast the Tyrant. It would be amazing if I could save the Tyrant here, but I think we need to stop the clock first. That came right at the right time. So we're going to be taking 6 a turn. He's got us on a 3-turn clock. This is basically the card that's going to keep us in it. So I think we need to play the Frostkin to block here. We need to attack in with the team. There could be an argument made for holding back the Cobalt Acolyte in case he has removal. But I haven't seen any yet, so I feel comfortable making the assumption that he doesn't have any. Especially because I haven't felt any stops on his attacks. Oh, there is a stop. I wonder what he's got. Now that he's blocked, I don't think he'd be playing the torch. He'd be using that for his final piece of reach. I can swing back for 6, 8, 10 if he doesn't have anyone to block with. That counts as someone to block with. Ooh, that definitely hurts. So I think we're on the Infernal Tyrant plan or bust. It's a jump blocker to buy some time. Do we have an attack that's reasonable if we... Oops. If we attack, it's going to be a chump attack for doing 7 damage, putting him on 10. Which isn't really enough to be a realistic threat. Yeah, it's not a good situation we found ourselves in. So we have a block here. If he has equipment, we're going to be forced to block the Valkyrie. If he has... If what he has was an Inspired Hour, then I'm dead regardless of what I do. So I think we take the opportunity to trade and take 10 damage instead of the 7 that we take from him casting Inspired Hour on the Oni Ronin. Our finest hour. There you go. It's a shame. I went to the city. I got all dressed up with nowhere to go because I was looking forward to finishing off this video series, but we got trounced. What happened? Well, as I said, we had 3 games where we struggled to get sigils on turn, and that's despite running 18. Even though we had 8 sigils from the redraw, we didn't get a single primal sigil, which stopped our development. And we didn't see the removal. And I think, yeah, like I said at the start with the draft, I was nervous about drafting a control deck, and I just don't think that control, or even sitting on the back foot of mid-range, is the right place to be in this format. And it comes back to a fundamental principle of you can have the wrong answers, but you never have the wrong threats. If you have creatures coming down and attacking, they're almost always the right thing because they're just creating pressure. And as we saw here, even though I accommodated, I feel as though we were just desperate for something that we could never quite get. Were there problems with this build? Yeah. I'm not trying to ameliorate responsibility with how this build turned out, but... And there was one huge mistake I made in the first game. There was an unfortunate result. Like, the guy didn't even have a primal sigil, but so be it. You know, he drew the card that he needed at the right time. I played to my outs and the outs didn't work. And then here we just got totally off-tempoed. Anyway, I guess they are the breaks. I look forward to going back and seeing what kind of retrospective I can take out of this. I imagine it's probably going to be in the first game where there's the most points to learn from. But either way, slightly underwhelming result. I guess I've got to go back to grinding out through rank to get the cash so we can run another draft for you guys ASAP. Because we have had a fair few new subscribers. Thanks guys, welcome. And I hope you enjoy the videos. But until we get the credits, I'll be leaving you be. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. And as always, have a good one. I've been Kozzi drafting for Pick 1, Pack 1.